And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there, cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
Milo gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Contact there entering turn 1.
Around goes the 9. Oh, he comes back up the track and he gets flying. Josiah picks it up into the air.
It's been set now here at Las Vegas as 20 plus cars get ready to square off at the 1.5 mile oval. Live from the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it's BTDY Racing Series. Here live on VSPEED, I'm your host Bradley Cooper alongside a very excited Alec Martinez. And Alec, we've seen a variety of different drivers up towards the front, but we've never seen this guy on the pole. How about it tonight? Dennis Faircloth going to start up front for tonight's race.
Yeah, a big day for Dennis Faircloth so far starting out. Hello, everybody. Welcome to 180 miles here, sponsored by Dialed Racing. Man, I'm excited. It's Las Vegas, one of my home tracks. Only live about 2.5 hours from here, so always good to come out west and come especially to Vegas, where we know this track and with the next gen race car is going to put on a heck of a show. And man, 120 laps is not a lot, but we saw at Chicagoland the great racing that we can have within that 120 laps. And like you said, Dennis Faircloth going to lead the field here to green. And the real question is, who's going to be able to roll the dice? This top 5 is very, very different than what we've seen all year. A lot of these guys having their best qualifying start of the year. So that's going to be something we're going to have to look for. And today, from what I've noticed, the big thing, tire wear and the looseness of these race cars. We know the next-gen car, when it steps out loose, it gets really loose. And if you overheat the tires too much, that's going to set you up for a really, really bad long run if we get long runs today. And as well, it seems like this field's going to be very tight. We know the next-gen car always keeps things tight. But the thing is going to be a lot of the guys who are so used to seeing qualifying up front and staying up front, well, they're starting in the back. Adam Cabot 13th, Ben Baffert starting 6th, Bailey Turner 9th, Joshua Banks, Jeff Wright, all starting outside the Keith Mayato as well. Or not Joshua Banks, but Keith Mayato, Jeff Wright, last week's winner Eric Hutton, all starting outside the top 15 here tonight. So that's going to be very interesting. Man, oh man, am I excited here for tonight, because it's Vegas is one of those racetracks I always love coming to every year. I'm so glad NASCAR comes here twice, because I think this track deserves 2 dates because of the racing that it puts on. And we might see lanes go from all the way to the bottom of the racetrack all the way to the outside wall, and that's good for us as broadcasters. And again, Dennis Faircloth going to be rolling on the pole. But how about let's get to our starting lineup and our grid here for tonight's Dialed In Racing 180 here. Dennis Faircloth with the pole here tonight with a 30.193 to his outside. David Shieldhouse in the 20, row number 2 has Chris Samar, the V-Speed driver, with Josiah Vincent starting in 4th. And then back in row number 3, making his first start tonight, was very confident when I talked to him this afternoon. Michael Newman making his first start of the season, starting in 5th in the 21 car. Ben Baffert to his outside in 6th. Row number 4 has Angelo Ronis and Joshua Banks going to be rolling off in 8th. And the guy he's been feuding with all season rolling off right behind them. They always seem to find each other. Bailey Turner rolls off 9th, and Yusuf Ghali rolls off in 10th.
11th position belongs to Cody Atkins with Kevin McGarvey in 12th. Adam Cabot back in 13th with AJ Stravato in the 33 and 14th. 15th spot belongs to Jeff Wright with Eric Hutton in 16th position. Max Cost will be 17th with Ray Massey 18th. And rounding out that top 20 is Noah Mikowski with Nick Starling in 20th.
And then right there in 21st is Keith Mayato and Dennis Steele, a Dialed Racing driver, starting 22nd. The rookie Ryan Shelton rolls off in 23rd. To his outside, the other rookie Brett Baldeck going to be rolling off 24th. Behind them, it's going to be Nathan Ostrowski in the 41 with Gary Sexton starting in 26th. Behind them in row number 14, Jeremiah Vincent and Dallas Sullivan, 29th. And then rolling off row number 15 is going to be Alan Dice in the number 5 car, going to roll out the field. 30 cars set to take battle here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And before we get rolling, how about we talk to our pole sitter, Dennis Faircloth. Dennis Faircloth, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the VSPEED booth. Got a copy?
I think so.
Well, buddy, I'm not sure. Is this your first career pole?
I think it is, actually.
Well, how does it feel? You're going to be leading this field to green here for 120 laps here in Sin City. How do you feel about this race? You got the best pit stall. Can you keep the track position?
I'm going to try. We'll see what happens. I'm not normally in the top 10 at the end of lap 1, let alone the first. So, yeah, I'm just going to run my race, and if I get past, I get past. I'm not going to just drop to the back, because I'll probably cause a wreck if I do that. So, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous, but the car felt comfortable, so I'm not worried about just losing it or something. So, I'm just hoping that these guys are patient with me, because, like I said, they don't usually come up on me until about halfway through the race when I'm on the old tires and a half lap behind. So,
all right. Well, we wish you good luck, Dennis. Go out, go have fun. Go out there and go get them.
all right, thanks.
All right. That's Dennis Faircloth, the 80, getting his first career pole, leading the field to green. Before we go green, Bradley, who's that pick?
Oh, man, I've been thinking about this all week, and I'd have to say that right now, with this top 5 the way it is, David Shieldhouse is the only one that's qualified up here in the top 5 that is normally up there. So I'm going to go with the 20 here tonight because it's got a lot of cars to pick through for the rest of the field.
I am, and he's been so good here, and I think he's just knock on the door with that win. As long as he doesn't get into any conflicts tonight, I think Joshua Banks gets that first win. But man, oh man, is it time to get going. BTDY, Tuesday nights here, and it's live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Faircloth and Shieldhouse, the front row, green flag, and we're underway in the WWE Racing 180.
And to lead lap number 1, it's David Shieldhouse taking over the lead. Made pretty quick work there. He got to the outside of Faircloth into 1, and then down the backstretch just had the run. And Faircloth under fire now for 3rd.
And the battle from second on back is a heated one. Look at this gaggle of race cars. Josiah Vincent in the middle of all of it. Bailey Turner on his back bumper, and then Turner, Baffert, Ronis 3 wide. Shieldhouse gets away by about 4 or 5 car lengths. Faircloth battling for second. Samard has to tuck back in line. Now shoots back down to the inside, and it's still about 10, 15 cars under a gaggle, all on top of each other here, all the way back to about 14th and 15th. Eric Hutt and Kevin McGarvey, but still side by side for second. Vincent and Baffert out making contact 3 wide down the backstretch.
They've been 3 wide now for about 3 laps, pretty much since the green flag flew. And you see the 24 Bailey Turner. He's worked up 5 spots in that short amount of time. He's coming after the 20 of Shieldhouse. He's to the outside now of Chris Samard for the 3rd spot. Looks like he has the run going into 1. We talked a little bit about the run that you get here in Las Vegas. It's about 10 laps, and that outside, the middle, that's about where you want to be.
And it starts fading away here later as this run goes on. Curious to see how much the tires are falling off. Ryan Shelton did the longest run in practice and he fell off about a second after 15 laps. So we'll see how much these tires do fall off. Josiah Vincent loses the nose behind the 54, and in the wake of the 54, almost gets up into the back, into the side of Cabot, allows Jeff Wright and Angelo Ronas to try to get by here. That's for about the 9th position, as Golly gets by Simard for 5th. Up front, it goes Shieldhouse, Faircloth, Turner, Bafford, and Golly, the top 5, followed by Simard, Cabot, Wright, Vincent, and then battle with Vincent and Ronas. Ronas getting that spot into turn number 3. Top 5, single filed out. Then the battle for 6th. The Magic Man, Adam Cabot, closing up.
We saw the 4 of Josiah Vincent. He's lost 6 positions since the start of this race. Almost looks like he's overdriving it down to the bottom there. He's a little bit lower than everybody else.
So he's just trying to get that clean air, a little bit of clean air to that nose. It always helps the rotation of the car. Back in the middle of the pack, the 2 rookies battling it out. Ryan Shelton, Ray Massey, the 32, the 99, and then up all the way on the wall, Bradley Wilson in the 51 car, and then Kevin McGarvey on the inside in the 00. Noah Mikulski right behind these guys. It's the first side-by-side battle throughout the front, or at least on the front stretch here, is Massey trying to get that spot away from Shelton. Wilson looking to take him 3 wide.
He will. Here we come off of turn 2. He gets the position. And that's a quick move there by Bradley Wilson. I'm not sure how long that outside line is going to last, though. We've seen that happen to drivers where they feel confident up there. They're getting big runs, and then just out of nowhere it gets so tight that they can't come off the corner.
Yeah, and interesting to see Banks has fallen back quite a few spots. He's back down to 14th, started 7th. Up at the front, though, Yusuf Ghali side by side. Up ahead as you're on board with Joshua Banks, side by side between the 2 teammates, Ghali and Bafford, and down the Dallas straightaway they go. Bafford gets the spot using that momentum on the outside lane. And out of Faircloth, he's close back up to David Shieldhouse, looking for the lead, going up to the middle lane, trying to get some clean air to the nose of the 80 car, and loving the pink numbers here in October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So that 80 car, and a few other cars repping the bright pink paint schemes and some bright pink colors as well. As Faircloth goes to the outside, gets some clean air. Turner right behind the Faircloth, gonna get a nice run off on down Manala straightaway. He'll have a run on David Shieldhouse, but won't be able to get close enough to at least make a move. He pulls up about a car length and then goes back up to the outside. And the big thing he's got to, clean air is always good with these cars. And this is the farthest he's ran up front all season, and it's good to see him run up here on 1.5 miles. But he's got to remember, he's got to save these tires.
Yeah, I think he's doing that by running in that clean air, and he's not really pushing the issue here with Faircloth or with Shieldhouse. He's just hanging with him. He's matching his times. I don't think he's driving beyond his means. He started on the pole, so we know he's fast. No reason here this early, 10 laps in. This is usually where we're going to see guys that did burn their stuff up running outside. They're going to start to fall back. So it's going to be interesting to see as you have Jeff Wright, Yusuf Ghali kind of flipping back and forth. Jeff Wright starting back in the 15th position. Yusuf Ghali hanging on to the top 10 where he began this race.
Yeah, and Bailey Turner lost the nose there and gets Bafford now to the outside lane, or Bafford goes to his outside. Chris Samar going to try to follow suit, won't be able to, but he'll at least get up to the outside of the 24 Celsius machine in that 24 car. Just drifting up a little bit in the wake of the 23. That dirty air, these cars do not like it. They tend to lose the nose quite frequently. And now you'll see guys starting to get that big run down the front stretch, especially with 2 cars side by side. Cabot able to generate a massive run here. He'll get some clean air to the nose. Nobody taking that line away. Samar just gets the back end a little loose. Turner with the back end a little bit loose. But now Samar going to try to clear Turner. He's almost there. Just can't do it until he gets drafted on that backstretch.
Side by side back here with Ryan Shelton and Eric Hutton. Hutton, one of those guys that started outside of the top 15. He's worked his way up 2 positions, but looks like a little struggle. And we also can't count out Eric Hutton. He likes to do this where he sits outside the top 10 until about 20 to go, and then there he is.
Yeah, no, and sometimes you got to be careful. Eric Hutton there's just a little bit. But yeah, Eric Hutton tends to just find himself up there as 3 wide here. 5th. Look at that, Adam Cabot to the inside. No, I think Jeff Wright might have blinked out, might be gone. His Cabot really loose on the inside lane. He'll lose 1 spot to Ghali. And Josiah Vincent very loose on the inside as well. Everybody now, the handling starting to come into effect here.
And Cabot got really loose. He lost a couple positions. He had the pass for about the 4th position. Now falls back to 7th. And they're starting to tighten back up front here. Ben Baffert has caught up to the back end of Dennis Fairclough for second.
Bradley Wilson is making that top line work. I'm curious how those tires are hanging on, but he's almost up to 10th. Back to 11th here behind Josiah Vincent. Ryan Shelton also closing up, but that 51 Shenandoah Shine car is making some headway up on that outside line. Probably because nobody's really been running it with the clean air, but he's making some time up as Baffert now gets by Fairclough for second. And then it goes Shieldhouse and Baffert now. Going to try to battle it out, but Bradley Wilson really making that outside line work. And then here comes Shelton trying to get by his teammate Vincent. Then Hutton and Atkins trying to follow their way up through here as well. Tires are really starting to fall off here.
Oh, loose there for the 51. He didn't run his line like he normally did. He came out a little bit lower, and he got really loose.
Sure did. Samard had a big moment off of 4 as well. Now Golly trying to get by. Turner is trying to get by. Slide job from the 54 up for 4th. Battles all over this racetrack is what I'm loving to see here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Golly moves up to 4th. Fairclough unfortunately falls back to 3rd. Nonetheless, still having a good run. Going to have to manage those tires. David Shieldhouse has led every single lap here so far from Las Vegas. As back here, Ben Baffert up to 2nd here, starting to run that 20 car down just a little bit.
And we've seen Baffert get around the 80 of Fairclough, but then he kind of went stagnant. He hasn't really gained any ground on Shieldhouse. Shieldhouse about half a second ahead of him. As they come down the backstretch, that lead is shrinking a little bit. So last time by, he was about 0.05 of a second faster. Nothing to write home about.
Hey, this mid pack. Oh, Bradley Wilson up into the outside wall in the middle of 3 and 4. They stack up. Cody Atkins goes around. Josiah Vincent around. Big wreck down the front stretch. Big hits from McGarvey. Keith Mayato caught up in it as well. And more cars sliding down the infield grass. Kevin McGarvey, a hard hit to the outside. Smoke billowing out of the 00 car. Keith Mayato, heavy damage there. And the Salo Taro Magic car of Kevin McGarvey destroyed after a hard hit on the front stretch wall in lap 17. And Jeff Wright 3 laps down as well, but man, a big hit for Kevin McGarvey.
Let's go back here a little bit to the 51. It was actually the one that got into the wall here. So let's back this up a little bit more.
Yeah, and it all starts here. The 51 had been using that outside lane. Then he just oversteps it, gets loose in the middle of the corner, gets into the wall. Everybody trying to check up. Wide. Yeah, and then Atkins checks up. Banks doesn't have enough time, hits the back end of the 81, spins the 81 into the 4, and then the 36 gets hit up the racetrack, and then nowhere for Kevin McGarvey to go here. You can see it all kind of just stacks up there. Yeah, Nick Starling gets into the back of Keith Mayato, and then Mayato shoots up the racetrack and then head on into the wall with Kevin McGarvey in the 00. And that brings out the first caution of the evening here as the field is going to bring it down pit road, led by David Shieldhouse here. So interesting to see some facts here for tonight. 4 sets of tires laying in the pit, so they're going to use set number 1. And how long will they be willing to go on this? Is anybody going to be willing to stay out? It looks like Jeremiah Vincent, who is a lap down, I believe, is going to stay out.
Jeff Wright is also out there.
Jeff Wright is 3 laps down. So.
Oh yeah, he blinked out of the race.
Internet connection issues. So yeah, everybody bringing it down pit road for their service the first time here tonight. Fairclough in box number 1. Shieldhouse looking like he's having a stellar pit stop so far and should be able to win the race off pit road. Although Baffert had a great stop as well. How about Yusuf Ghali? Actually, Shieldhouse not too fast on the left side, and Baffert gets off a pit road first. How about Yusuf Ghali as well, getting some spots? Then Shieldhouse, Fairclough out 4th, Turner 5th.
Baffert maybe came close to getting a speeding penalty there because he really launched out of that stall. So that's going to be close. I'm not sure.
Did. I don't think he did. Yeah, no. So Baffert gets the lead. Ghali up in 2nd. So the teammates will control the front row. And the rest of the cars coming out. AJ Stravato up to 9th. Shelton 10th. Bradley Wilson, a little bit of right rear damage is in 11th. But we know, we talk about these next-gen cars. These next-gen cars are tough. They can take big hits and keep going and keep rolling. So we'll be curious to see there what happened. Michael Needham did not have a good stop there. So back in 20th here. So interesting to see. Ben Baffert, your leader. Yeah. How about that? Good first run there. And like we said, Shieldhouse led all those laps But now he's going to get put back here in the 3rd position. How about, who should we pull up? Should we pull up Ben Baffert in the 23 in that, whatever that is?
Yeah, the F-150 GT FX4 Mustang.
Yep. All right, let's get him in here. Ben Baffert, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the VC booth. Got a copy, buddy?
We got a copy.
Well, we're filling the void here, so we're under caution for the first time here tonight. I got to ask you, great pit stop from the 23 crew. Now you got the clean air. Is dirty air affecting these cars, or were you just kind of keeping it safe behind Shieldhouse?
I was actually pushing to try to get past Shieldhouse because of how hard it is to pass, but I do think being in clean air is a little bit of a disadvantage due to how hot the right rear gets. Right rear gets hot, you slide, you slide, you slide. You won't be able to do anything till you cool it back down, so starting to make a little bit of ground on David there, but unfortunately the caution comes out as soon as the tires start to wear out, so we'll give it another shot here. Clean air is probably going to hurt a little bit, but great stop by the Sorrowful Gentleman crew. We're going to give it our best shot.
All right, well, we appreciate your time, Ben. Good luck, and go get him.
Oh, yeah.
That's Ben Baffert, leader here. You know, pit stops, man, they mean so much these days. Especially, like you said, track position going to be so king and so key to getting up to the front. That's going to be big. You know, we didn't do it before we got here. So how about let's take a look at our not track facts, but our track update here and get a look at the weather, the ambient temperature, as well as the track temperature here. So 72 degrees outside and 117 degree track temp here, and it's only going to get hotter as the day goes. And it's only going to get hotter as these cars continue to run full pace or at full pace and running laps and laying down rubbers. So 1 to green here as pace car lights have pulled off. And man, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, such a great facility. Opened up in 1997. That Neon Garage, let me tell you, if you haven't been to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, I highly recommend go out there. The fan experience, phenomenal. Neon Garage is second to none, maybe other than Daytona. The garage is just so awesome. Close up to all the teams, close up to all the race cars, and really is nothing better than coming out here. Definitely the West Coast tracks I could recommend. If anybody, I would say come out to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Always good, always fun, and the atmosphere always great.
Never been outside of Las Vegas, but I heard it's a big facility. It has a road course outside of it, a dirt track, a drag strip,
Yeah,
and a mile and a half. It's got everything. And out here in the Nevada desert, I mean, you've got all the real estate in the world to park and travel, and there's a lot going on out here. But here we go. Pace car gonna pull off for the 2nd time today, and 180 miles. We're 22 laps in. Ben Baffert's gonna lead him into turn 1 with Yusuf Ghali, Dennis Faircloth, David Shieldhouse, and it looks like Bailey Turner and Chris Samard in that 3rd row. There goes the pace car. Green flag up in the air, and we're back live and racing at Las Vegas. The 2nd time here tonight.
Wow. Good jump from the 23 car. Look at this, fanning out 3 wide. Faircloth even pushed him all the way to the outside. And now we're going to have to get back in line here as Turner made an aggressive move side by side with Adam Cabot. And Faircloth gets back in line on the outside. Here comes the Italian stallion AJ Stravato in that Kia 33 car. He's closing up as well, side by side for 3rd. And this restart is where you get your spots. No, Turner loses the nose there, has to jump out of the gas, and he'll probably lose a couple spots.
Yeah, Turner down there on the bottom, and you said the temperature here on this track, 117 degrees. They're probably heating it back up to about 120 very quickly.
Yeah, this track is going to only get hotter. This track is only going to get slicker. Oh, Faircloth almost gets put in the wall by the 24 Turner. Turner with a late move and a late decision, and everybody keeps it clean and keeps it back going. But Faircloth going to use that outside lane to try to get by the 33 of Stravato. Just can't clear that side draft. Still seeming to be effective.
Into turn 1, it's Ben Baffert, Yusuf Ghali, David Shieldhouse works his way back up to 3rd. He's all over the back bumper of Yusuf Ghali, but that clean air that he had at the start of this race, it's a different factor now. He's back behind 2 cars. He's going to have to change his line.
It is, but is that clean air hurting? Oh, Samar drips up the racetrack, gets has to get out of gas, loses the nose in the wake of the 33. The dirty air gets put all over that 77 car, has to come out of it, and look at all the spots and momentum he loses all the way back down to 14th position, goes to 77 of Samard. Faircloth and Wilson side by side for 8th. That's 7th on the racetrack. How about Bradley Wilson, man? He is making that outside work, but we saw that last time he might have bit him as he got too loose, got up in the outside wall, and man, he is really, really getting up there.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful because these tires, they don't really come out with a warning and say, hey, we're getting too hot. It just kind of happens. The very next lap, he ran in there just fine. You come around it the next time, and it's in the wall.
Yeah, these cars fall off really, really quick here. Wilson still using the outside lane. I almost gets into the wall there. And it looks like Stravado going to try to take that position or stay ahead of him here as into turn number 3. Man, at 24 really had a check up for Cabot. Wilson going to shoot up to the outside lane. And like we said, clean air. There's nobody up there, and there's nobody taking that line away. So he'll pull even with the 33 of Stravado here. And that is for the 6th position. Bradley Wilson really trying to make a name for himself so far. He doesn't have a win in this series, but man, is he trying to get up there and maybe compete for this win, as he'll get 6th away from the 33 of Stravado. Behind them, Banks and Faircloth battle for 8th on the racetrack, as now Faircloth using that outside lane, Banks using that inside lane, and Banks gets the 8th position away from Faircloth. Faircloth back down to 9th, and Angelo Ronis in 10th.
Yeah, it's starting to cycle back to what we were used to seeing with some of these guys that started outside the top 10. They've worked their way up there. Still a tough break here for Jeff Wright. He's 1 lap, actually 2 laps down, trying to get back on the lead lap, probably praying for another caution, because outside of that, and he's going to have to pull a strategy out with fuel or something.
Yeah, he's the first car a lap down. He's got a lot of extra laps on his tires. He shouldn't have to really worry about it, but it's going to definitely hurt him as the Shenandoah Shine Toyota Camry to the outside. Bradley Wilson having himself a night so far to the outside of Bailey Turner. He'll get that spot, and now he'll try to get around Adam Cabot in the 17. That 51 car on rails so far here tonight. Behind them, Banks and Stravado are battling side by side for now 7th. As look at this, Wilson trying to get to the outside, but Cabot goes, takes that line away, gives him some dirty air, and that 51 has to get out of the gas.
Yeah, that's Cabot's going to be the first guy he's had to challenge because everybody else has been running the bottom, and Cabot's 1 lane up. It's going to take away his line, and Cabot's smart, taking him way up the racetrack here in 1 and 2. He'll get the run here, but he's not going to be able to do anything with it.
Now, and if he can get to the right rear, then he's got a shot, but Cabot taking that line away, taking that air away is not helping us. Oh, Wilson shoots up to the outside.
Yeah, that's too deep.
He gets too high, and he's going to get up into the outside wall.
And he actually blinks out as he hits the wall.
Wow.
So Wilson disappears.
And Wilson's out of the race.
That's interesting.
Yeah, interesting. And the other 51 out of it already, so.
Not sure if Wilson had a connection issue or if he hit that wall and just said, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know why he would. It's the next gen. His car's dead ahead. I don't know what happened. You have to go and dive into it, but now that eliminates Bradley Wilson out of this race. So now the top 5 goes Baffert, Golly, Shieldhouse, Cabot, and Turner.
Yeah, that's a shame too, because Wilson was really on the move. I'd like to see if he could get around Cabot.
I think it's going to be possible here. That's for dang sure is. So far back here, look at this battle. This guy on the race cars. Ryan Shelton, highest running rookie so far here tonight. Going up to the inside lane of the pole sitter, Dennis Faircloth. Oh, Shelton loses the nose, casting down the gas. And Faircloth does the wise thing, just lifts, because that could have been contact. And Faircloth now gets back in line here with Eric Hutton shoving him into the corner, but they'll all keep it going. Faircloth to the outside lane, now side by side. Last week's winner, Eric Hutton, doing his darndest to get up there, but he just can't seem to find a way up to the field. Battling for 10th here, and you can see down the backstretch, look at that run that 80 gets off the corner, and now he'll go back up to the outside. Nobody's really worried. I'd say not from the outside, but the middle of the racetrack. Get some clean air, and then carry that momentum down the front stretch here. And how about Alan Dice, the Infinity for Gaming Chevrolet, starting 30th, and how about this, running inside the top 15, actually running in 12th, almost inside the top 10.
Yeah, biggest gainer of the night so far is the 5 of Dice, up 17 spots from where he began this race. Second biggest mover, Ryan Shelton, and then Bradley Wilson, for whatever reason, didn't have a starting position. I think he was up a few as well.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, the 51 behind the wall here.
And now we're on lap 15. This is where we're going to get to cars losing. Well, there's only a little moment down the front stretch. Nick Starling really moves off the corner. he'll get a guy up. But this is where we're going to start seeing the tire fall off. This is where we're going to start seeing the cars that are good on the long run start making some time. Look at this, Yusuf Ghali, who we could argue he has been really good in the next gen on these mile and a half so far, as Ghali goes to the inside of his teammate for the lead, and Yusuf Ghali, the 54 car, gets the lead from Ben Baffert and the 54 Vans Toyota Camry to the lead. But here comes David Shieldhouse as well, trying to get around that 23.
Shieldhouse just sitting back, biding his time with the tires. Now he sucks up to the leaders and right behind Ben Baffert, who led about 16 laps. Yusuf Ghali takes it away from him on lap 37.
And Ghali, man, like we said, he won at Chicagoland earlier this year, but it seems like these runs here, as the runs go longer, that 54 car comes alive. And how about it, man? Yusuf Ghali looking like, if we get to these mile and a half, might be the favorite going into all of them. As Baffert trying to get back around him, just can't. And right now, notice it's a 4-car breakaway, and then about a second gap to Bailey Turner, and then it goes Stravato, Banks, and then they got the side-by-side battle between Ronis and Shelton. Shelton really starting to put some pace, get some pace in that 99 car, though. It gets really, really tight on the inside lane.
Just behind them, the pole sitter, Dennis Faircloth, sitting in 10th spot. Eric Hutton right beside him as they go into 3 and 4. I think this track is heated up a little bit. What do you think? 119 degrees now.
Just a couple degrees, and it's going to get hotter. It's going to get into the 120s by the end of this race. So this track's only going to get slicker, but the rubber that keeps getting put on this track is very interesting. I wish that outside lane had a little more grip to it. It was working a little bit better. It just doesn't seem to have the grip. The middle, I guess, kind of hangs with the bottom, but that third lane just doesn't. And it's really starting to show. But David Shieldhouse using that middle lane, and you'll see him. He'll kind of get up there, but he just can't really do this. Oh, God, it's really loose. And Shieldhouse lost the nose, had to get out of it. And now Baffert trying to go around, but he'll back out of it. Now this is the last Shieldhouse, who's starting to feel some pressure from Cabot.
And the top 4 right on top of each other again, and he looked behind the 17 of Cabot. There's Bailey Turner creeping his way back up.
And Baffert now down to the inside lane for the lead, trying to get it back away from his teammate Yusuf Ghali, and he will. Baffert back to the lead with the 23 car. Ghali, they'll try to get another charge out of it, can't do it. He'll tuck in behind, he'll kind of air bubble the 23, push him down the front stretch, and then behind them the Magic Man Adam Cabot closing up as well. But Ghali shoots back down to the inside lane, looking for the lead again. But Baffert using that middle lane to kind of use that momentum down the backstretch, and he will. He'll carry all the way down the Nala straightaway as Ghali in second rides about 2 car lengths behind. David Shieldhouse about another car length behind. And then Cabot and Turner, the top 5, have kind of separated themselves away, but this pack is starting to slowly catch back up, especially with Banks and Stravato closing up slowly but surely, as well as Ronis and then Shelton and Hutton still side by side for 9th.
So the 99 actually was racing with, I believe that was Ronis a moment ago. Now Hutton comes up in the mix.
That's a lot of Faircloth and Dice to kind of catch up a little bit. And this mid-pack has been kind of exciting to watch as well as Sexton, Atkins is, oh, look at that. Adam Cabot down to the inside, shooting down, using that apron for third. Shieldhouse looks like got a little bit loose there, had to get out of the gas, and that's allowed the 24 car to close up to the 20, but it's allowed the 17 to close up as well and move up into third as the 2 teammates, now 3 teammates, 1, 2, 3, the SGR team now taking the holds of this race here. Look at Alan Dice to the inside of the pole sitter Dennis Faircloth here as they're just going to get side by side. Just can't do anything. That outside lane is starting to prevail as Samar to the outside now, battling for the lead. Here comes Turner getting by Shieldhouse, but Ghali gets by his teammate Baffert for the lead. So Ghali gets back up to the lead here and up to the point with the clean air. Oh, Turner cuts off Shieldhouse, and Shieldhouse crosses him over. You can see on board with the 54. The 23 gives him a little bit of a love tap, but nothing more than that. As Ghali to the lead, Baffert to second, Cabot rolling up in third, Bailey Turner now in fourth, and Shieldhouse back down to fifth. And it seems like once that 20 got dirty air, it is not handling like it used to.
Yeah, it looks like that affected his, I guess, drive off. It seems like he's getting the nose, scrubbing up the racetrack. You can see it right there as he comes off very close to the wall.
It's just loses the nose there in the dirty air, and it's really hurting him a little bit. Unfortunately, no Brody Hayes and a couple guys. Actually, we haven't seen him all year. This time, Jane, hope he's doing well. I haven't seen him though, but yeah, no Brody Hayes here tonight is playing an interesting role, I must say, and yeah, I know we're missing a couple guys, so we're missing Robert Gilmore as well. I've seen him, so but still, nonetheless, a good field size here. There's Josiah Vincent in the 4 car battling for 20. This is the battle for 22nd on the racetrack. Nathan Ostrowski in the 41 to his inside, and remember, Vincent involved in that first caution, got some right front damage. It's not, I don't know if it's all fixed, but it's definitely not. It's definitely, even if it is fixed, it has hurt the performance of that race car. As Golly pulling away here. Look at this. David Shieldhouse getting split for 5th, and now Stravato up into 5th. And look at this. Banks and Ronis closing up into the battle. Shieldhouse thinks about clearing, but he won't. Now the 35 of Banks gets to the outside in the 35 car. That Chevrolet Camaro, the Macco Tools Chevrolet Camaro closing up there as well as just a little bit of fishtailing. That splash at Go 20. That David Shieldhouse is struggling.
Yeah, it's looking like the handling of that car is gone. Praying for a pit stop here as they approach 28 laps on this stint. After hitting pit road on about lap 20, these guys starting to cycle through. You've seen a lot of these drivers that started outside the top 10, like we said, work their way up into the top 5. Biggest mover of this top 5 is Adam Cabot, 10 spots up. Second most is Yusuf Ghali. So it's been more of the same. It didn't start out that way, but it's been more of the same names up here. Unfortunately for Jeff Wright, he's still 2 laps down. It looks like he's struggling a little bit too to get some position. He has the 41 there of Ostrowski getting loose on the tri-oval.
And this car is, I'm starting to notice these guys starting to trend loose here. These guys, after 30 laps on the tires, these cars are really starting to slow down, and they're really starting to get loose, about 1.5 seconds off of what their best laps are. So these guys are really starting to fall off here on board with Max Caution. You hear him having to pedal it off the corner, be easy with it, and then gets back on the gas down the front stretch. And that's what I've loved about these next gen cars. When these cars get difficult, man, do they get difficult.
Eric Hutton getting by the 20 of Shieldhouse as well. And it looks like the racetrack just not agreeing with these guys. It's pulled off on the green, but it's really chewing the right front off.
I feel like it's chewing the right rear off as well. I'm noticing Shieldhouse is just struggling getting the power down, and it's kind of losing some time on the exit of the corners. It's hurting him down the straightaways. So right now, Yusuf Ghali is kind of checking out here from Ben Baffert.
About 0.3 seconds separate Yusuf Ghali from Ben Baffert. He's led exactly 11 laps. About to be number 12 now as they come out of turn 4. Who do you think is going to be the first one down pit road?
The 20 car. The 20 car, David Shieldhouse will probably be the first car down pit road. Maybe somebody like even Eric Hutt, Chris Samar, Dennis Faircloth, one of those guys. Maybe outside. I think you won't see the top 5 probably pit for another, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 laps here. So they're really going to have to go long. I'm not sure how many laps they can get on fuel, but I'm assuming that we're going to see these guys really try to stretch to about lap 60, lap 63 if they can. They're still going to have to pit twice, so you're going to have to split this race into thirds still after that run. You've got that caution lap 20, got back right about lap 1, or about lap 23. So yeah, you're going to want to split this race into thirds. So I could see it to where you go to lap 60, then go to lap 90, and then go all the way to the end from lap 90 on. So yeah, probably another 8 to 10 laps is when we'll start seeing guys start bringing it in here and down pit road. So Ghali's job is to just get away from the 23, the 17, and the 24.
There's still a lot of racing left to be done. Yusuf Ghali, your leader here as we tick away the laps. We're on lap 54 now. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching the BTDY Racing Series live on VSPEED. We'll be back right after this.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back here live, BTDY Racing Series, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We've completed 59 laps here tonight, and while we were at caution, or not a caution, but we were in a commercial break, the 99 of Ryan Shelton had his hands full coming off of turn 2.
He did. Shelton got up into the
it.
wall. Players. Oh, we got trouble down the front stretch. No, Mikulski is spinning into the grass. No caution, but it looked like contact from Gary Sexton. Mikulski is around on the front stretch. And oh man, a heavy transition there. Bounces the car up quite a bit. But everybody can see, let's take a look at what happened there between Mikulski, and then we'll take a look at what happened to Shelton about 2 or 3 laps ago. But it looks like he's ran out of racing room there, and you can see it from the blimp cam. He gets tight, and then Sexton doesn't really have anywhere to go. Gets out of the gas, but just had too big of a run there, and he spins the 03. Also, we'll take a look at what happened to Shelton about 2 or 3 laps ago. He was trying to get by David Schildhouse, and then just seemed to use that outside lane, and then he just got up into the wall, and then he just stayed up there. And then Ray Massey was able to get by both of those guys, and Shelton falling back to 13th, now live battling with Gary Sexton for 12th.
So Ray Massey works his way into the top 10 as we see him coming off of turn 4. This spread on this field from 9th position.
It's big now.
It's a big gap. These guys to the leader about 4 seconds ahead.
It was so tight, about 20 laps ago, and now as the tires wear off, the field's getting very spread out, and the top 2 are all by themselves, about 1.5 seconds ahead of Bailey Turner, and those 2 cars, top 2, are the 2 fastest cars on the racetrack. Michael Newman put new tires on, and I'm curious to see the speed he has. You can see him just blow by cars, and we'll take a look at the next lap. He comes around and gets that first lap down. I mean, he's a 2 seconds faster, or 1.5 seconds faster than your leader, Yusuf Ghali. So the 21 car is moving, and I'm curious to see if any of these guys up here at the front are going to see that and think, oh, well, maybe it's good to come get tires. But then again, the tire fall off is big, although I think Ben Baffert might be bringing it in down pit road. Bailey Turner also might be bringing it. No, he's staying on the racetrack. Let's see here. Yeah, no, he's not actually. Sounded like he was, and now actually Chris Samar is going to be the first taker on the pit road. This pit road entry, the transition is big, and you got to be careful, because if you hit the transition too hard, you are going to spin out, and a caution, because we saw what happened in Rockingham, a caution did come out, and it changed the complexion of the race.
Chris Samar, the first taker down pit road. We've got a few other drivers looking like they're going to pit here.
Everybody's staying out here, so Looks like everybody's going to keep it out another lap. Ray Massey is actually turning some decent lap times. That last time was 30.9. This time we'll see what he turns. So that 32 car, no draft this time, but he was actually turning some of the best laps. It's probably the third best car on the racetrack. So that 32 car, that pink, yellow, and black 32 Ford Mustang, the Clark Print Shop Ford Mustang, is starting to make up some time here, as thought Baffin was pitted, but he decided to stay out, and they're going to keep him out just a couple more laps here. As Yusuf Ghali and Adam Cabot, that battle for the lead is starting to tighten back up a little bit, and behind them, Bailey Turner and AJ Stravato. Stravato really starting to have some long run pace in that 33 car. That Chevrolet Camaro is tuned up there, and I'll tell you what, Stravato, man, he hasn't won in a couple seasons. He went winless last season. I don't think that's going to happen this season. And right now, he's got the pace that looks like could win this race. That Clark, or excuse me, I should say the Pride Lawn Care Kia Chevrolet Camaro is really starting to turn on the jets here. And up at the front, Yusuf Ghali and Adam Cabot going to battle for the lead. Ghali looking for his second win of the season, and Adam Cabot looking for his first win of the season. Michael Newman behind them trying to get one of his 2 laps back here. And you'll see him blow by him when he gets the chance. It's going to give Cabot a little bit of help down this backstretch to kind of push him. But Newman should make quick work of these guys. And like I said, he's turning about a second and a half faster, as though, he backs out of it. Oh. I think he wants to let these guys race a little bit, and I respect him doing that. Backing out, I think he thought he was going to put Cabot and Ghali in a weird position there, and I think that's why he backed out of it. So, kind of hurt Cabot.
Good move. It was a good move, though, and not to interfere. You know, he's 2 laps down. He's kind of having an off-pace moment.
Yeah.
Don't get up there and mess with the leaders right now. Let him single file out and then try to pass. That's a smart move.
I think that's a good move. I'm glad he was able to do that. Now he'll get by Cabot, no problem. Then he'll come by Yusuf Ghali.
Guys on the outside of Ghali.
Yeah.
Maybe he might take it to the bottom. Not sure, but.
No.
We are 69 laps in. These guys are really stretching it out to 50
Yeah.
laps here. I'm surprised they're going this far.
I am too. Yeah, Chris Samar did come in and pit. He started some really fast lap times right now. And the question is, are they going to try to make this a 1-stopper, or are they going to try to make this a 2-stopper? I think you can get away with a 2-stopper. It's still 55 laps to go. So, or excuse me, 51 laps to go. So still.
Yeah, I mean, if they can go 50, which they're about to show that they can, I think they can make this in one stop. It's going to be close.
Now, caution comes out middle of the cycle. Boy, is that going to change things here? Right now, the top 2 are still continuing to check out away from second and third. And pretty much, I mean, this is going to be a 2-horse pony show into dog races, as Moonhead would say. These 2 are just gone.
Here is Chris Samar going around the 99 of Ryan Shelton. That was for position 19th, so Chris Samard will be the first car a lap down after we all cycle pit stops. Max Koss came down pit road while we were looking around. Looks like Nathaniel Ostrowski.
Yusuf Ghali had a moment. This is going to allow Cabot to get there. This could be pivotal for the pit stops here. What's going to happen? Ghali's going to pit. Interesting. He's going to try to shortcut Cabot. Cabot's going to have the overcut, but now he's going to really have to put together a lap to close up. So Ghali going to bring it down pit road, who was your race leader. Now hands it over to Adam Cabot. More cars bringing it down pit lane. Ben Baffert into pit lane. Gary Sexton, Ray Massey in pit lane. Dallas Sullivan bringing it down pit road. Cody Atkins in as well. Jeff Wright did bring it in as well here in the 48. This is going to be interesting. Pit cycle has begun with 48 laps to go. Adam Cabot is going to do another lap. Interesting decision by the Atlas 17 group as Bailey Turner and AJ Stravato bring it in.
Turner locks it up.
On the brakes. I don't know if Turner or Hutton made it. Ronis is in. Banks stays out. But interesting to see here is Ghali leaving pit lane here. Samard, who is on fresh tires, 8-lap older tires than Yusuf Ghali, is going to get up to at least, actually going to get by the 54, but just won't have the tires life that Ghali will. Cabot going to bring it in this time by a little bit late entry, but now comes into pit road, hot on the brick. That was really fast in the pit road.
Possible penalty here for the 17. Let's go back and see.
And Bailey Turner did, in fact, get a speeding penalty. And I believe Eric Hutton also got a speeding penalty. Two guys high in the points. And last week's winner, speeding on pit road. Cabot is going to be cutting it close here as well to see if he got speeding on pit road. But two cars that were running inside the top 5, speeding in pit road. Cabot did not get a speeding penalty. Oh, Joshua Banks misses his box and I think clipped the inside wall, and he'll have to get it going. He's going to lose some more spots and valuable track position as well, as Cabot going to bring it out of pit lane. Yusuf Ghali is going to come around him, but look at the pace that Cabot was still able to gain, and Cabot's only going to come out about a second and a half behind with 2-lap pressure tires, although Cabot going to get held up behind Jeremiah Vincent there, coming out of pit road, but it's going to cost him about a couple tenths, but only 2.5 seconds behind Yusuf Ghali, as Chris Simard has taken the lead.
Yeah, Simard in the lead here. He's about 0.7 of a second ahead of Yusuf Ghali. Last time by, they were pretty even on lap times, 30.467 for the 77.
Yeah, but that cliff he's gonna hit that cliff a little bit harder than, or he's gonna hit it a little bit quicker than when Ghali will. The perfect thing for Ghali though is Ghali's gonna have draft most of this run. Cabot really doesn't, but Cabot at least has fresh tires to kind of make up for that deficit, but he's gonna have to really push his tires to kind of get there. And right now, he just doesn't have the draft. He's losing it down the front stretch, so that's not really helping the 17, and it's playing more into the hands of the 54 of Ghali, as with Turner and Hutton getting their speed penalties, they are 25th and 26th. Jeff Wright in 27th.
That's
all
unfortunate.
those guys top 3 in the
Shieldhouse,
points.
did Shieldhouse get a penalty?
Shieldhouse get a penalty? That's a good question. Let me see. David Shieldhouse did also get a penalty, yes. So a lot of guys got penalties. Yeah, Shieldhouse did get a penalty there, so he's also a lap down. Jeremiah Vincent, the first car, a lap down. Bailey Turner, 2 laps down. Eric Hutton, 2 laps down. So still a long way to go for these guys that are now laps down and in the points. Is this going to be a big day for Yusuf Ghali if he can come home and at least get a top 3, because Hutton, the points leader, Jeff Wright second in points, and then Turner, who's 5th in points, is going to fall back quite a bit. Ghali is 8th in points, and if he can win this race, and most likely with Cabot, if he wins or finishes second, will retain the lead of the points. Keith Mayato having a bad day. AJ Stravato is going to gain a lot, and Noah Mikulski, even though he's having an all right day, he's having a better day than Bailey Turner, Eric Hutton, and Jeff Wright. So even Mikulski is going to gain points. Yusuf Ghali is going to gain points. So there's a lot of points to be gained, especially for guys like Mikulski, Ghali, Ronis, Banks, Sullivan, Bafford, Steele as well. So a lot of points still on the table here, as Ghali now looking for the lead on Chris Simard. And he's got it.
Yeah, he gets away with that pretty quickly. It looks like Simard found that clip that you were talking about. He was about 0.3 of a second slower than Ghali.
Yeah, don't
2 laps
look
in a row.
now. AJ Stravato is kind of there with Adam Cabot, so don't count him out. Ben Bafford is also kind of straggling along, and then Angelo Ronis, Ray Massey, Gary Sexton, Sheldon, and Sullivan are kind of all spread out throughout the field. But Alan Dice is looking like he's going to have a top 10 run going. That 5 car is really putting down some good laps here, and now he's, I believe, was the 2nd fastest car in the top 10. So that 5 car really starting to make some moves. He's up 19 spots, going to be at 20 spots. So far having a good run so far. Cody Atkins having a nice run. Solomon having a good run. The 3 teammates inside the top 15, Josiah Vincent, Joshua Banks, and all those guys that we're talking about, Dice, Sullivan, Shelton, Sexton, Massey, Atkins, and Vincent, they all had clean pit cycle. They all had a clean pit cycle, where the guys that had a bad stop, like Banks, and then you got the guys that sped with Shieldhouse, Turner, Hutton, and Jeff Wright, who hasn't been having a good day. They're all getting. They're gonna get those spots. So 5 or 6 spots were gained from those guys all having a bad run and a bad cycle in the pits, as Cabot is starting to reel in Yusuf Ghali. And
he's got him down under a second now.
And that cliff is going to come quicker for Ghali than it will Cabot. And right now they're closing up 38 laps to go. So still a little bit of ways to go, but This is a long, long run, I must say. And, you know, AJ Stravato, man, he is he's just been methodically all night working his way to put himself in this position. And look where he's at now, right behind Cabot. If Cabot can run down Golly, and then those two guys get to racing, don't count out the Italian Stallion and possibly getting that win here tonight.
AJ Stravato winless for about a season and a half, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, race number 5 of this season, and creeping up here into the top 3, chasing Adam Cabot, who's chasing Yusuf Ghali. About 0.8 of a second separate them. That lead shrinking down last time by Adam Cabot, a 10th faster.
I'm surprised Ghali and the Cabot overcutting by 2 laps is a good move. I thought it wasn't going to work, but he's already going to be there, and he'll have more grip later in this race. So that's going to be interesting to see. Ghali pitting before Cabot was interesting. I thought they'd maybe pit together, or at least one guy would try to shortcut the other. And it did, but I think 2 laps could mean the difference. 1 lap it means a little bit, but 2 laps is going to mean definitely more. And that's kind of just like, wow, duh. But 2 laps is a ton, and could possibly be 2 or 3 tenths by the end of the run.
Here's a pass from the 16th position. Noah Mikowski on the inside of Keith Mayato.
And that's
Looks
big.
like he's going to get that spot.
Talking about points early in the season sounds kind of weird. Like, why are you talking about points? But man, the regular season champion is going to get those bonus points, and man, are those bonus points going to mean something. Especially in the chase with what we've already seen. This field is so tight that bonus points are going to be big. Not only for the regular season, but bonus points are going to be big just in general. And up at the front, though, it's now, from what we thought was going to be a 2-horse race, it is a 5 or 4-horse race. Ben Baffert and AJ Stravato are there with Adam Cabot. Cabot's kind of been towing them along here, and now Cabot's kind of ran down the 54, but now they're going to have something here. If these two get to racing, they'll have something. And the big thing as well, if you look at Yusuf Ghali's lap times, he's faster, and by the end of this race, they might be up into lap traffic here soon. And I think they will no doubt get into lap traffic here, because you got Newman, who's about only a half a straightaway ahead, and then ahead of Newman's about 5 or 6 cars. So lap traffic might play a big role in the end of this race.
It's looking like Ghali's starting to fall off, and that same cliff that happened to the 77 to Samard, we're talking about 0.2 of a second. Ghali's just holding on. We've probably seen the last pit stop for these guys as well. They're going to stretch it out unless we see a caution.
Unless the caution comes out, yeah, those will probably have been the final stops of the evening. I doubt anybody else is going to try to bring it in. Maybe Samart, who's on 24-lap old tires, could try. I just don't think the time, you're not going to gain enough. As here they come, closing up to the back of Michael Newman here. This should help Ghali a little. Well, it's going to be interesting there. Cabot now in the draft with the 54 here. He's going to be on the offense here. Ghali's going to have to be on the defense, and boy, is Ghali going to really have to hold him off. And remember, if Cabot wins this race, he's going to be the 5th different winner in the first 5 races. Shows how competitive this league is.
Yeah, and then anybody wonders why we're talking about points, 5 different winners in 5 different races. It all boils down to who gets the most points at the end of the season. It's already decided that we're going to have a tight points battle.
Yeah, and Ghali is the only driver in the top 10 that hasn't won a race is the only driver in the top 10 that has won a race this season. And now Cabot looking to the outside, looking for that first win of the season. Ghali is not going to give it up. Or is he? Here comes Cabot up to the outside lane. Dead even for the lead. Down the Dallas straightaway they go. Cabot now on the outside, Ghali on the inside. Side drafts him back. Ghali sends it into the corner. Just doesn't have the grip, doesn't have the tires that Cabot does. Cabot on the outside drifts up a little bit. Ghali going to have to side draft him down the front stretch. Cabot pulls down, but Ghali goes up to side draft. Now still even here for the lead, but Ghali on the inside lane might not help him as he goes over the bumps.
It's looking like Ghali might have been saving a little bit. He gets tight.
And Cabot to the lead. The Magic Man looking for that first win of the season. We know he won the class with that race. It counts, but it counts on paper. It doesn't count in the official win record book. But Cabot now with the lead. Ghali still not willing to give it up. Stravato about 5-6 car lengths back. Then Ben Baffert about 10-15 car lengths back. Now Cabot goes into the corner, taking the air away from the 54 car.
He's still going to get a run down the
He let him
backstretch,
go.
right
And
up on the
look at
bumper.
Lap traffic ahead for these leaders. Nathan Ostrowski, Max Cost, Nick Starling, Brett Baldeck, all ahead of these guys. David Schildhouse and Jeff Wright. So what will these guys do? What will this turn into? As here comes Golly back trying to get around Cabot. Cabot in that cleanup. That car is very loose now as Golly trying everything he can. But man, these boys are pushing their tires. Golly to the inside again.
He's got the nose down in 1 and 2. They're going to be side by side down the backstretch. Just as they're about to catch up to this lap traffic, Golly might be able to use this as a pick and complete this pass. Touches the apron
he's
there.
gonna get it though. Cabot got a little bit tight there when Golly got next to him, and now it looks like Golly going to retain the lead. And we talked about the way these cars are in the next gen. We've seen it in the era, a perfect scenario. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson at Pocono this year, where Hamlin kind of forced Larson up the racetrack, put him in the wall. And what I'm seeing here is when you get on the inside, Ostrowski very loose. They're right next to Yusuf Golly, and it could have been a wreck down the backstretch as Samard gets into pit road, going to try the 3-stop strategy after 30 laps on his tires. But I'm noticing if you're on the outside and the car on the inside gets tight, the car on the outside also gets tight with the way the air is shifting on the door. As now for the lead in lap traffic, Golly still has it. Now it looks like Ostrowski up the racetrack, almost up into the outside wall. Stravato going to try to get around him as quick as he can, try not to lose sight of these top two. Baffert behind them is starting to fade away.
Baffert almost out of the picture. He has a 3 all over his back bumper now consistently for about, I'd say, 20 laps since they came back out.
Yeah, and so far, a great run. Only 17 cars on the lead lap. Cost now the first car lap down, but Ostrowski is a lap down. And now Nick Starling, the next car to go a lap down ahead of Yusuf Golly and Adam Cabot. Golly so far, what a run. Even with 2 lap older tires, still holding on. But Cabot, I'm guaranteeing he still has a couple more charges left in him.
He's probably saving those tires back up, trying to cool him down because he looked a little loose there when they got the racing side by side. And Cabot's going to wait till the absolute last moment to try to make that pass because Stravato started to catch up to him. He's now fallen back about 4/10.
Oh, there's some contact that Jeremiah Vincent and Ben Baffert had a little contact off of turn 4 and almost spun the 23 out. 23 really, really loose, and it costed him a lot of time and probably some tire life as well. So Baffert now going to lose the top 3, and these top 3 kind of all away from each other.
Angelo Horonis in the 5th spot. He's about 2.5, 3 seconds back from Ben Baffert.
Ray Massey, Gary Sexton inside the top 10, well inside the top 10. Massey 6th, Sexton 7th, Dallas Sullivan in 8th, Alan Dice, Ryan Shelton battling for 9th. Shelton much older tires than Dice, and now Shelton goes down to the inside the battle for 9th on the racetrack. And how about Ryan Shelton, though? This has happened all about a half a track behind Yusuf Golly. But, man, good run for a lot of these rookies here. 2 rookies inside the top 10. Dice trying to hold off the 99. Man, he's just not going to be able to, but still pulling side by side here for 10th. Behind them in 11th, Cody Adams. Bullshitter Dennis Faircloth 4 seconds behind them in 12th, but kind of all by themselves. And these guys are, this field very, very spread out as the leaders now lapping Jeff Wright for a 3rd time here tonight. And then Brett Baldeck going to go his first lap down here. Keith Mayato, the last car on the lead lap here, which is kind of crazy to say, but was involved in that wreck early on lap number 19. And these top 2 kind of pulling away from AJ Stravato. Stravato going to have to navigate through the lap traffic.
Still a lot of racing left to be done. We have 20 laps to go. Yusuf Golly has led 49 to be exact. He'll lead 50 this time around as he goes by the inside of David Schildhouse to put him 2 laps down. It's been kind of an unexpected qualifying now, an unexpected outcome to this race. Unless we have a caution, a lot of these guys that were in the top 5, they're not going to get bailed out.
Yeah, this race is so interesting. Like, we haven't had wrecks that take these big guys out. It's just been the big wrecks, or not even big wrecks. Yeah, the pit stops that have taken these guys out of contention. So, very, very interesting to see how much this race has changed just from green flag pit stops in the cycle, and it's really changed. Although Cabot, You know, I'm noticing he's starting to lose some time to Yusuf Ghali. Ghali, man, he's looking good for his second win of the season right now. But although he's going to really, really have to hold off Adam Cabot, because I think Cabot's still got a little bit left in that 17 car.
We'll wait and see. About 18 laps as they cross the line and 0.5 of a second. So I don't know. Ghali's stretching that lead out a little more each lap. No, I know lap traffic is kind of over with now for a little while.
I think he's kind of gotten by it all. So, I mean, there's... Oh, wow. Oh, Shieldhouse contact! Shieldhouse in the grass! Oh, he's trying to... Oh, no, he's around. Shieldhouse goes straight back at the racetrack. This might be a caution if that 20 car spins all the way back around. No, it doesn't. Oh, yep, on the racetrack. No caution. Look at all these cars having to get by him now. No caution there for the 20 car.
Go back and take a look at what happened here. Oh, that was contact with Stravato, I believe.
He got loose in front of the 33. And really yeah, Shieldhouse got loose and Stravato gets into the back end of him and spins him around.
Wow.
And wow.
I mean, Shieldhouse is lucky that thing didn't flip over.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the caution didn't come out. I thought the caution was going to come out, but it never did, so.
Even at that, though, Shieldhouse 2 laps down, if he brought out the yellow, he's still not going to get a bailout there. It would probably breed more cautions. It might in turn bail him out, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. I think right now, with the way it sits, these guys navigated through all the lap traffic, and Yusuf Ghali is pulling away from Adam Cabot. I don't think Cabot has anything left.
I think Cabot might have something left for him, but it's going to be a lot harder to get around as these tires are getting older and evening out. So that's going to be very interesting to see if Cabot can get something there. As Stravato's about 1.5 seconds back. I don't think he'll have much there for these two unless they start racing each other. And then you got Baffert, who's about 4 or 5 seconds behind him. Ronis, who's about 8 seconds. Then Mass, who's 10 seconds back. This field is very, very, very spread out. The 54 car is setting quite the pace. Although Cabot, though, they're trading lap times. Cabot about a 10 faster than last time. Although I just don't know, man. It's going to be tough if Cabot, if Yusuf has a moment, gets it loose, knocks it sideways once. I think it's possible that Cabot might have something for him. But I just think the 54 car's been just so consistent. Even though he has 2 lap fresher or older tires, the 54 car just has more pace.
Yeah, and he's navigated through this lap traffic to a T. He's done it perfectly, methodically. We actually had, I believe that was the 4 of Josiah Vincent that was racing with them a moment ago. He gets clear of Ghali, so that 10th or 2 that you saw Cabot gain back might have been the 4 car running next to Ghali for a moment there. We'll have to see. I just don't know.
It ain't over yet. I can tell you that. They got 14 laps to go, or 13 laps to go. So there's still time for Cabot to run him down. It's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass. And Ben Baffert mentioned earlier when we interviewed him, he said clean air, the car is very loose. If you're in dirty air, it's better. Right now, Cabot's in dirty air, and he has fresher tires. Is it stabilizing that car enough to maybe make one more charge at it, one more challenge for the 54? And I think with the way the laps are and the way the lap times are, he's only got one more left in him. Although Cabot is starting to put some pressure on him. He's starting to get some pace.
Here we go for the final charge. About 11 laps to go. Riding on the back of Yusuf Ghali.
Cabot's getting a little bit bigger in that mirror, I can tell you that.
I don't know. I think Ghali's also put it a little bit in conservation mode.
Yeah, and right now, and Yusuf does have the upper hand with clean air, though, and that helps. So it's going to be interesting to see here as Baffert's trying to navigate his way through traffic, though. He's just, he's way back there, and wasn't too happy with Jeremiah Vincent from what I heard. How about this battle for 10th? 2 teammates, Alan Dice, Cody Atkins, whoa, big moment out of the 81 there, and a good save from Cody Atkins, and gonna save his top 10 run from going. So good moves out of them. Very welcome to the caution. As Ghali now 10 laps to go, or 11 laps to go here, and now he's starting to open up that gap just a little bit more.
About 6:10 side. It's pretty much stagnant here for Cabot. Unless he has a bag of tricks up his sleeve. I haven't seen it yet. Yusuf Ghali maintaining that gap in about half a second. Every time Cabot reels him in, Ghali turns it back on and pulls back away.
Yeah, and it's looking like it. I mean, a lot of times
We want to see it happen, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I just don't think it will. I mean, Yusuf just got too much pace, and again, it's still a possibility. There's still 8 laps to go. Still a couple opportunities for a caution to happen, and don't count that out of the equation as well. But this field is very spread out, so unless a big mistake out of somebody, and there's a couple cars battling, and most of them are lap cars, which, you know, it's possible they all get together, but it's really all where Angelo Ronis, Michael Newman, Chris Samar, Dennis Steele, Bailey Turner. Those guys are all, I think, pretty good when it comes to keeping control of their race cars. So I don't see a caution really happening at any time soon here. I mean, and there's only so many laps for it to happen. So I think this field is getting very, very spread out. I just don't think there's anything left there. And
you see Cabot changing his line here. He's running a little bit higher than he was. He's trying to find the lane, but I think they're going to match lap times this time by, not much faster there for the 17.
He's throwing everything at it. He's just, like you said, they're matching lap times here, and I just don't think there's going to be enough of a massive, again, it would take a massive mistake out of the 54, and Yusuf Ghali doesn't tend to make mistakes too often, so I just don't see that it's going to be, it'd be very uncharacteristic of the 54 to have a mistake like that happen. He's putting together good lap times, and I know he's loose. You can tell. He's still wheeling it out the corners, but that car is just, he's letting it flow through the corners. He's getting the runoff, and it's really helping. Cabot's trying, he just doesn't have anything. From what I could tell, there's just not enough there in that 17 car. Though Jeff Ray could play an interesting role in this race if he wants to.
He can get up there and draft with him.
Cabot up there, but I think he just might be coming by here. Although I don't know, he's pushing him. This is gonna be interesting.
Let's see. There's a 10.
He's gonna try 5 laps to go here from Vegas. Could this be the last breath here for Adam Cabot to maybe mount a charge at Yusuf Ghali? 5 to go. Now into 3 and 4. Jeff Wright does have fresher tires, so he could stick with the 17 here.
Jeff getting up there
makes no
really
sense
high.
They're not teammates. Yeah, they're not teammates. So that's a show, though. They are close. Cabot is close. He is making this race. Jeff Wright is making this race a little more interesting, although I just don't think Cabot has the pace, even though he's going to have help. I mean, it's possible. I just don't think he is, but Wright going to give him another shot.
There's another 10.
4 to go.
Coming down the backstretch. There's
Give
another
him a
push.
chance. I just don't think Cabot's going to have anything for him here. Cabot's just loose. Jeff can't save him. Oh, he's really loose this time. Oh, big moment. And that might cost him any chance at the 54 that he did have.
3 laps to go now.
3 to go, but those tires are going to be hot and they're going to be angry.
And Jeff Wright was right up on the bumper there as they exited 4. And the 17 just couldn't handle it. It was too much off the air, off the spoiler. So as soon as he got back to that throttle, it snapped free. Yusuf Ghali just has to get around here 2 more times.
And he has to get here 1 more time to make the race official as Cabot's still just sliding that back end around. 2 laps to go from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Yusuf Ghali been really in control for most of this race. And man, what a night, looking for his 2nd win of the season. Going to be the first driver with multiple wins and what could possibly be 2nd in points after performance like tonight. A lap and a half to go for the 54 car.
The Yusuf Ghali going to take the white flag as they come off of turn 4. A few drivers still making some moves. There's Chris Simard after his 2-stopper. Not going to get back on the lead lap. Across the line now for the 54. White flag up in the air. And 1 more time for Yusuf Ghali with his dominating race. He's led over 60 laps here tonight at Las Vegas. Adam Cabot trying to get some draft help. Probably not going to be enough here.
No, he doesn't. And down the Nala straightaway for the final time here tonight. Yusuf Ghali in control most of this race. Cabot sends it in. He just doesn't have enough. And off of turn 4, Yusuf Ghali will come and see the checkered flag. Yusuf Ghali wins his 2nd race of the season at Las Vegas.
Adam Cabot bringing it home second. AJ Stravato third. Let's see if we got any other racing going on this racetrack.
Oh, Massey almost got to Ronis for fifth. Just wasn't enough. Maybe need another lap, but it goes. How about that? Ray Massey gets his best finish of his BTDY career in sixth. Gary Sexton seventh. Ryan Shelton, the other rookie, coming home in eighth. So two rookies finishing inside the top 10. Alan Dice, biggest mover, up 20 spots, comes home in 10th. How about that? Dallas Sullivan, a solid finish as well. And wow, this is really going to shake up the points here. Yusuf Ghali getting that second win of the season.
Everybody's trying to tear the doors off the 54 car.
Yeah, and the teammates of the 54 are starting to close up. And how about that? Adam Cabot second, just 2 seconds in a row, I believe. So not the greatest situation there for Adam Cabot, who's trying to knock on that door for a win. So as look at this, a quadruple burnout, if he so will, from all the teammates. As I believe they all finished inside the top 5. So how about that for the sorrowful gentlemen, as they say. But,
it's true poetry here, huh?
As they burn it down on the front stretch here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll come back after a quick commercial break to interview your winner, Yusuf Ghali, Adam Cabot, and AJ Stravato. Stick around for post-race interviews after this quick commercial break.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the nurturing reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today. All right, back live here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway here. After the conclusion of the Dialed In Racing 180 with Yusuf Ghali, your winner, down in pit road. Here, let me see if I can get him in here. AJ Stravato, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the VC booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, buddy, bring it home with a third place finish. Obviously going to be very good for points, as the points have yet to update, but it's going to be big. You, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, were inside the top 10, actually in sixth in points. You come home third with a couple guys that were ahead of you in points having really, really bad nights. How do you pretty much get the what do you think of the result of the day?
I mean, I can't complain about a third place finish. I wish I ran I guess the start of the race a little bit more aggressive if I knew clean air was going to be so king, because man, after like 20 laps, it was just so hard to pass. So Just interesting strategies on managing tires and lines. I didn't do a really good job the last run right there. I had to kind of keep up with Adam because he was on fresher tires and Yusuf had clean air. So I was pushing a little bit too hard and actually almost brought out a caution. I got to apologize to Shiv House. They were running, him and I forget who were running side by side. And I actually got into the back of one of them. I'm surprised it didn't bring out a yellow, to be honest. I was trying to stay in Adam's wake and, just didn't do a good job the last 20 laps. But happy to bring home a third. I hate to say it's good that Jeff and Bailey and Eric and a couple guys that are my teammates had bad runs, but it helps us some points, I guess. So that's a positive for that, but not for team points. So kind of mixed bag. Glad I finished third, but stinks that the teammates didn't get good results that they're looking for.
Yeah, and I do want to go. I know you're big on the road racing side. You tend to be more comfortable on the road courses. Next week, we go to a road course and have like a little bit of a West Coast swing. Go out to Sonoma, California, in the Gen 4 car. How do you feel about going out there and maybe attacking that track and maybe seeing? We all know Jeff Wright is going to be the guy to beat. Do you think there's maybe a possibility that you can run up there with him?
Hell no. If the prototype, maybe, but not in these Gen 4 cars. I don't really have a good honestly that good of a handle on these things, and Jeff is just way too good at these low downforce cars at Sonoma. So I don't think there's really going to be much of a challenge for him, to be quite honest with him. I think he ran Sonoma here in another league that we run in. He smacked the shit out of everybody. So I kind of expect the same to happen next Tuesday, to be quite honest with you. But if we can get a top five, I'll be happy with that.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, AJ. Again, congrats on the third place finish. Is there anybody you want to thank for it?
Apologize to David Shithouse for running into him again, but all the guys who are at Nexus Esports Phase 2, I guess they're calling it. Hopefully they're doing well in the Contender Series. All my road teammates, all the teammates I have right here, and all the league admins. It's a lot of fun racing here on Tuesday nights, and glad to get a good result.
Absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate your time here, AJ. Congrats on the third place finish, and we'll see you next week out at Sonoma.
All right.
All right, appreciate you, AJ. That's AJ Shavano, your third place finisher in that number 33. Pride Lawn Care, Chevrolet Camaro, the Kia Pride Lawn Care, Chevrolet Camaro. Let's go up to our second place finisher, the Magic Man himself, Adam Cabot. Adam Cabot, you got a copy, brother?
Yes, I do.
Well, we're talking to you again in the same position that you were last week. You lead 6 laps. You look like you had the fresher tires on Yusuf and maybe had the advantage. You even got by him in that run. Is there anything that you maybe needed to stay ahead of that 54 car, or was it just the 54 way too fast?
I don't really know. I was super patient there and didn't even really fight him when he went by because I just, like you said, had the 2-lap fresher tires and I was a little bit quicker than him at the end of the first run that we were on, that last run before the green flag pit stop. So I was just trying to be patient and ride in behind him and figured I could just, wait until 7-8 laps to go and put on a late race charge and just didn't really have the grip. So that was definitely disappointing and surprising. So I don't know what I should have done differently there. I don't know if maybe trying to run like a half groove up, maybe kind of killed the tires a little bit. But at the same time, iRacing never updated this track, I don't think, with the multi-surface, multi-groove grip strips, whatever. So you couldn't really move around, and you just kind of got stuck in the car's wake in front of you. So, yeah, I wish I'd tried to battle him harder instead of just kind of letting him go. That was definitely unfortunate, but congrats to Yusuf on running a good race and pulling it off there at the end. And we had the whole entire team in the top 5, which was awesome to see. And on the bright side, I'm pretty sure I'll be the points leader after tonight. But damn, I come here to win, and that's 2 seconds in a row that I feel like really should have been wins. So that's unfortunate. We'll have to come back and try to get them next week.
Yeah, speaking of next week out on the road course at Sonoma in the Gen 4 car, how do you feel about maybe attacking that place and try to come home with maybe a top 5? And I mentioned this with AJ. We know how good Jeff Wright is there. Do you think maybe you're going to have anything for him, or do you think it's going to be more of a battle for second?
Yeah, let me take back what I just said. We'll come back in 2 weeks and try to get that win because I don't know if I'm gonna beat. I mean, I see Sonoma in the Gen 4, and I feel like that's just like that's probably what Dover is like to me for Jeff Wright. Like he's just so good at that track, and he also is really good in the Gen 4. So I expect him to be strong. And Yusuf and Ben are, I feel like, usually touch better than me at road courses. So I don't know though. We'll see. I've never driven the Gen 4 car to road course. I assume it's There's going to be way too much power and a lot of tire savings. So, I expect to come out of there with a top 5. I feel like I'm pretty competent at road courses, but there's usually like 1 or 2 guys who are just a little touch better than me. So, but if we can get another top 5, build up that points lead a little bit more, and then head into a normal track the week after and then try to get that first win, that would be an ideal way to start the season.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time, Adam. And before I let you go, celebrate the second place. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, gotta give a shout out to the whole Sorrowful Gentleman team. Having all 4 of us come in the top 5 there, that's really cool to see. I don't know if that's ever happened in this league. I don't know if we have any statisticians paying attention here, but that might be the first 4-car team to be in the top 5 at a finish. So, if so, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it was. And, well, we wish you, again, a great night and congratulations on your second place finish. We'll see you next week at Sonoma. Hopefully we're talking to you again.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Alec.
Appreciate you. That's Adam Cabot, your second place finisher here tonight. 2 second places in a row. Let's set it down to the virtual Neon Garage in main victory lane. Bradley Cooper standing with Yusuf Ghali.
I am standing right here next to the 54 Vans Toyota, and he put on a clinic. 70 laps led. Started back in 10th place, but once you found that clean air, it just looked impossible. After 20 laps out on the racetrack, you just matched Adam Cabot and kept that half a second gap.
Yeah. This is a really interesting race, especially with the new the new physics on this car. Like, you can get out front, but if someone's on your bumper, it's almost worse to be out front.
It seemed like air and turbulence was the real problem for a lot of guys. You saw Shieldhouse, who was up in the front at the start of this race, but once he got back in traffic, he fell off and just never could recover, ended up with a speeding penalty. It was the exact opposite for you guys coming up here into the top 5 in the second half of the race. Did you guys learn a lot from running back there in traffic at the start?
Yeah, Adam and I started in similar spots, and he and I made our way through the field at a similar rate. So I think he and I kind of had a similar feel for the car. It just depended on who got the right timing on the pit stop and who caught lap traffic really well at the end, and that just made the difference.
So you're able to come out front after the green flag pit stops. You found yourself ahead of Adam Cabot. You got around Chris Simard and never looked back. Yusuf, congratulations on the win here tonight. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out for that performance?
Specifically my teammates. That is the first time our team, Sorrowful Gentleman, has finished all top 5. I think we finished 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th there. So shout out to them for an amazing run for all of us there.
We appreciate your time, Yusuf. Enjoy the victory, man. They're few and far between. 5 different winners this season, I believe. So they're hard to come by. Congratulations.
All right, thanks, guys.
That's the 54 Yusuf Ghali getting the victory here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Let's say we bring those results up on your screen here.
Yeah, let's say we do that. Yusuf Ghali, your winner here tonight, leads a whole bunch of laps. And how about a race recap? 1 caution, 9 lead changes, a lot of racing and a lot of great racing we saw here tonight. Here is Yusuf Ghali, your winner, starts 10th, comes home the winner. Adam Cabot starts 13th, comes home 2nd. And how about AJ Schiavato, starting 14th, comes home 3rd. Ben Bafford in 4th. Angelo Ronis 5th. And Ray Massey, the rookie, gets his best finish of his career in 6th. Gary Sexton, a much-needed good run in 7th. Ryan Shelton, the other rookie, having a great run as well, comes home 8th. And Alan Sullivan, good run from him, comes home 9th. And Alan Dyson, 10th. And how about that? Look at that, 29th, 30th, 26th, 23rd.
Yeah, 19 spots gained.
A lot of guys outside the top 10. Finishing inside the top 10.
Yeah, outside the top 20 even. So that's impressive for those two. 11th spot's going to belong to Cody Atkins. Joshua Banks, unusual for him outside the top 10. He's going to finish 12th. 13th, Dennis Faircloth, your pole sitter, falls back out of the top 10. Noah Mikowski, 14th. You've got Chris Simard on the 2-stopper. Didn't work out on the strategy. It'll be the first car lap down in 15th. Nick Starling, 16th position. 17th, Keith Mayato, who got caught up in that lap 20, I believe, or lap 15 accident very early in this race. Jeremiah Vincent, 18th. Max Koss, 19th. And then Brett Balding in 20th.
At 21st was Josiah Vincent. Nathan Ostrowski, 22nd. Michael Newman in 23rd. Bailey Turner, a disappointing night after a speeding penalty, in 24th. Aaron Cutton, last week's winner, another speeding penalty and disappointing finish in 25th. Jeff Wright had an internet connection issue and unfortunately costed him a good finish in 26th. And David Schildhouse, who led the first 17 laps of this race, running inside the top 5, had a bad stop, and then just got stuck in dirty air, couldn't do anything, and then speeding on pit road, and then getting turned, so not a great night for the 20. He'll come home 27th. Dennis Steele, 28th. Bradley Wilson had a little bit of contact with the wall, and then just seemed to disconnect in 29th. Kevin McGarvey with a hard hit to the outside wall, ending his night, and he'll come home and round out the field in 30th. And man, oh man, was that a race here that we saw here tonight. Congrats to Yusuf Ghali on his second win of the season. And man, I'm looking forward to Sonoma, our first road course of the year in the Gen 4 cars. We know those guys are going to be sliding around. And man, it is going to be really, really fun to watch guys really go at it, get sliding around, saving tires. We know how worn out Sonoma is. It's going to be fun.
Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast here, the BTDY Racing Series. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And would like to thank everyone that's made it possible for us to put on these shows. We just recently got monetized, and it means a lot. It's a big leap here. It's a milestone that me and Adam have been working at for a very long time. And I'd like to thank Alec Martinez, Connor Horn, Eddie Smith, everybody that made it possible. All the leagues from BTDY, Saturday Night Racing League. Oh, there's just so many to name. We've got the BMW Cup Series on Thursday nights, Bluegrass on Wednesday, Monday VSRL. We're coming back to Friday with VRX here very soon, so thank you to all you guys for making that possible, and to Martin Sports for putting on BTDY Racing Series on Tuesday nights. Next week at 8:35 Eastern Time, hope you can join us at Sonoma. Until then, for everybody at VSPEED and BTDY, we thank you for watching tonight's broadcast. Take care, everybody, and have a great rest of your week.
Contact there entering turn 1.
Around goes the 9. Oh, he comes back at the track and he gets floppered. Zion tips it up into the air.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned.
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.